Are UFOs visiting Earth? If so, why? An article on the New York Times titled, "People are seeing UFOs. Are UFOs visiting Earth? If so, why?" An article on the New York Times titled, "People are seeing UFOs everywhere, and this book proves that." According to the article, it asks the question, why have six sightings of unidentified flying objects around the nation more than tripled since 2001? Why is July the busiest month for UFO sightings? Why did they spike in Texas in 2008 or in New Mexico in September 2015? And how in the world or out of it has Manhattan racked up New York State's second highest tally of UFO sightings in this century? These questions and many others emerged from the first comprehensive statistical survey, and this book proves that. According to the article, it asks the question, why have six sightings of unidentified flying objects around the nation more than tripled since 2001? Why is July the busiest month for UFO sightings? Why did they spike in Texas in 2008 or in New Mexico in September 2015? Alright, to get more about this particular story, go on over, click our link to go to our Patreon site, Podbomb Community, and thank you for being a passionate fan so we can bring you more exclusive breaking news and stories just like the one you just heard from the New York Times. So to get early access, you get $3 per month to get our latest podcast before anyone else. Alright, so just go right now. Thank you for joining the Podbomb Community on their journey to 500 patrons. Alright, we help tell stories through visualization and podcasts. Witty, thought-provoking fun. Ha! Alright, so we're going to continue with this particular breaking news, but be sure to surf on over to our Patreon site. We got the link right there beneath on our live broadcast. Click that link, and all support appreciated. Summary of so-called close encounters. 121,036 eyewitness accounts organized county by county in each state and the District of Columbia from 2001 to 2015. The unlikely compendium UFO sightings desk reference is the work of a couple of in Syracuse who crunched unruly data on UFO reports collected by two volunteer organizations, the Mutual UFO Network or MUFON and the National UFO Reporting Center or NOFAC. It is New Mexico in September 2015. And how in the world or out of it has Manhattan racked up New York State's second highest tally of UFO sightings in this century? These questions and many others emerged from the first comprehensive statistical summary of so-called close encounters. 121,036 eyewitness accounts organized county by county in each state and the District of Columbia for Reporting Center or NOFAC. It is the reference UFO researchers deems of having Gordon G. Spear, Emeritus Professor of Physics and Astronomy at Sonoma State University in California, writes in the foreword. The book contains no narrative or anecdotal accounts, just 371 pages of charts and graphs that slice and dice the geography and timing of the incidents and the various shapes that witnesses report: flying circles, spheres, triangles, discs, oval, cigars. Many of the sightings turn out to be explainable, the authors say, but a small percentage defy resolution. The author are Cheryl Coster, 65, a former military technician and aerospace analyst, and her wife, Linda Miller Coster, 62, a librarian at the Memorial College and a former librarian at the National Academy of Sciences, NASA, and the Environmental Protection Agency. Working on PCs amid sewing tables in the upstairs parlor, the warmest room in their 100-year-old house, the two spent weekends for the last 16 months extrapolating figures from sighting reports and laying out the graphics. Cheryl Costa was writing New York skies, a UFO blog for the Syracuse News Times, when the Costas decided to expand the tallies of UFO sightings nationwide. Quote, we wanted your UFO sightings desk reference is the work of a couple of in Syracuse who crunched unruly data on UFO reports collected by two volunteer organizations, the Mutual. Alright, this is getting very exciting to get exclusive breaking news just like you're hearing right now on our podcast channel. Be sure to surf on over to Patreon, Pod community, and thank you for being a passionate fan of our show. For early access, for just $3 per month, you get exclusive access to specials before everybody else does. Alright? Or you can just support us to get your name on the credits, which are definitely going to credit the New York Times for writing such a phenomenal piece that we're sharing. So yeah, you get your credit at the end of the program. Again, this is Hangout Space, and just surf on over to our Patreon site, Podbomb Community, and we're also going to get this particular feed on our WittyCast podcast. Alright, we're going to continue with this, but again, anything you can help to support content creators like us, go surf on over to our Patreon site, Podbomb Community, for your support. Thank you for your support. UFO Network, or MUFON, and the National UFO Reporting Center, or NOFAC. It is the reference UFO researchers deems of having Gordon G. Spear, Emeritus Professor of Physics and Astronomy at Sonoma State University in California, writes in the foreword. The book contains no narrative or anecdotal accounts, just 371 pages of charts and graphs that slice and dice the geography and timing of the incidents and the various shapes that witnesses report: flying circles, spheres, triangles, discs, oval, cigars. Many of the sightings turn out to be explainable, the authors say, but a small percentage defy resolution. The author are Cheryl Costa, 65, a former military technician and aerospace analyst, and her wife, Linda Miller Costa, 62, a librarian at the Memorial College and a former librarian at the National Academy of Sciences, NASA, and the Environmental Protection Agency. Working on PCs amid sewing tables in the upstairs parlor, the warmest room in their 100-year-old house, the two spent weekends for the last 16 months extrapolating figures from sighting reports and laying out the graphics. Cheryl Costa was writing New York skies, a UFO blog for the Syracuse News Times, when the Costas decided to expand the tallies of UFO sightings nationwide. Quote, we wanted to do our big full disclosure, she said. It's something the government should have been doing, close quote. The Costas realized some might find this a strange way to spend weekends, but both say they have spotted UFOs themselves and want to detoxify the subject. They're doing scientific research, Cheryl Costa said. What's crazy is not being willing to look at research, close quote. She came to the collaboration roundabout, having served as a cable lineman in the Air Force in Vietnam, and afterward in the Navy submarine service. As a man before undergoing gender reassignment surgery in the 1980s, ordained as a Buddhist nun, she was running a theater group in Maryland when she met Linda. They were wed in 2011. UFO trackers welcomed their publication. With this compendium, Cheryl and Linda Costa have reminded the public and the media the extraterrestrial phenomenon continues unabated, said Stephen Bassett, founder and chief executive director of the Paradigm Research Group, which lobbies for disclosure of official UFO records, rebutting a common perception that UFO sightings are on the wane. The Costas book. Alright, so here we are again asking you for Podbomb Community. Thank you as a passionate fan. Listen to this live feed on our YouTube channel. So what we're doing right now, we're going after early access where you can get exclusive access to the podcast before anybody else does. We help tell stories through data visualizations and podcasts. Witty, thought-provoking fun. Alright, so you can also just have your name on the credits for each one of our broadcasts on our podcast. As a patron, you'll be recognized for making our work possible. So credit on an upcoming podcast for just $20 per month. Alright, so if you're enjoying this, just surf on over. The link to the Patreon site is right on this particular episode. Alright, so all you gotta do is click the link. It will surf on over the Podbomb community, and thanks for being a passionate fan. So we're gonna continue. The coasters realize some might find this a strange way to spend weekends, but both say they have spotted UFOs themselves and want to detoxify the subject. We're doing scientific research, Cheryl Costa said. What's crazy is not being willing to look at research, close quote. She came to the collaboration roundabout, having served as a cable lineman in the Air Force in Vietnam and afterward in the Navy submarine service as a man before undergoing gender reassignment surgery in the 1980s. Ordained as a Buddhist nun, she was running a theater group in Maryland when she met Linda. They were wed in 2011. UFO trackers welcomed their publication. With this compendium, Cheryl and Linda Costa have reminded the public and the media the extraterrestrial phenomenon continues unabated, said Stephen Bassett, founder and chief executive director of the Paradigm Research Group, which lobbies for disclosure of official UFO records. Rebutting a common perception that UFO sightings are on the wane, the Costa's book shows that sightings have risen in waves to 11,868 nationwide in 2015 from 3,479 in 2001. Only a small fraction of sightings are actually reported to MUFON or UFOs. Their labor of love is about the numbers, just the numbers, and the Costas refrain from speculating on what exactly is happening. Quote, "We really don't know," Linda Costa said, "but all of these people are seeing things." The government officially quit the UFO business in 1968 with a finding in Condom report from the University of Colorado that there was nothing significant to investigate, although some 30% of incidents were unexplained. MUFON's 500 volunteer investigators, however, continue to check out many of the sightings reported to the group. Roger Marsh, a MUFON spokesman, said that the 270 cases his group investigated in Manhattan from 2002 through 2016, 44 eluded explanation and remain quote on. Alright, so here we are again back, letting you know that this exclusive podcast and YouTube live feed was brought to you courtesy of the Podbomb community and Wittycast podcast. To support our creative endeavors, such as sharing of this exclusive breaking story that was featured on the New York Times, go ahead right now, click the link to our Podbomb community on our Patreon site, and thank you for your support. That sightings have risen in waves to 11,868 nationwide in 2015 from 3,479 in 2001. Only a small fraction of sightings are actually reported to MUFON or UFO. Their labor of love is about the numbers, just the numbers, and the Costas refrain from speculating on what exactly is happening. Quote, "We really don't know," Linda Costa said, "but all of these people are seeing things." The government officially quit the UFO business in 1968 with a finding in Condom report from the University of Colorado that there was nothing significant to investigate, although some 30% of incidents were unexplained. MUFON's 500 volunteer investigators, however, continue to check out many of the sightings reported to the group. Roger Marsh, a MUFON spokesman, said that the 270 cases his group investigated in Manhattan from 2002 through 2016, 44 eluded explanation and remain quote unknown, close quote. One of the most intriguing occurred on the afternoon of September 17, 2011, when a man on the roof terrace of the new museum on the Brewery photographed a fast-moving diamond-shaped object with windows and flashing blue and red lights against the Tribeca skyline. According to MUFON, it resembled an unknown flying object photographed in Round Rock, Texas 2 weeks earlier. The Costas listed 426 sightings in New York County from 2001 to 2015, second in the state's tallies only to Suffolk County on the tip of Long Island, with 554. How so many sightings in the nation's densest core and around its 20th beach resorts have escaped wider notoriety is just part of the mystery. For the UFO enthusiasts, the pages and graphs and charts are a treasure trove of how to find details. The District of Columbia, with 98.56 people per square mile, had the fewest sightings with 154. Wyoming, with 5.8 people per square mile, had more than twice as many, 337. Fireballs made up nearly 8% of the sightings in Indiana, 230, and fewer than 5% in Colorado, 170. Alright, so we're coming in again asking you guys to surf on over to our Patreon site, Podbum Community, and thank you for being a passionate fan. For only $3 per month, you get early access to our podcast, just like the one you're listening to right now on the YouTube channel, that also brought to you by the Wittycast podcast. Also, to get your name mentioned, of $20 a month as a patron, you'll be recognized for making our work possible. Credits on upcoming podcasts. So thanks for your support. Let's continue this exclusive breaking news. Now, close quote. One of the most intriguing occurred on the afternoon of September 17, 2011, when a man on the roof terrace of the new museum on the brewery photographed a fast-moving diamond-shaped object with windows and flashing blue and red lights against the Tribeca skyline. According to MUFON, it resembled an unknown flight up. Alright, so something like this they were talking about, they saw right in the skies. So just so you know, we're tracking all this right here, so we're just gonna keep this going. Photographed in Round Rock, Texas 2 weeks earlier. The Ghostbusters listed 426 sightings in New York County from 2001 to 2015, second in the state's tallies only to Suffolk County on the tip of Long Island with 554. How so many sightings in the nation's densest core and around its 20th beach resorts have escaped wider notoriety is just part of the mystery. For the UFO enthusiasts, the pages and graphs and charts are a treasure trove of how to find details. The District of Columbia, with 98.56 people per square mile, had the fewest sightings with 154. Wyoming, with 5.8 people per square mile, had more than twice as many, 337. Fireballs made up nearly 8% of the sightings in Indiana, 230, and fewer than 5% in Colorado, 157. California, the most popular state, led the nation in UFO reports with 15,836, more than the next two states, Florida, Texas combined. Los Angeles County alone had more sightings than 40 states, followed by Maricopa County, Arizona, which includes Phoenix. Population fails to explain these figures conclusively, the Coasters said. Washington State, with 6.7 million people according to a 2010 census, ranks number 4 in sightings, ahead of Pennsylvania with 12.7 million people and New York State with 19 million. Rather, the Coasters theorized the figures may reflect good West Coast weather, which draws more people outside when they may spot UFOs. Nationwide speaking, in July they found and dropped off between December and February. Still, Mississippi, UFO report spikes in January and November, in New Mexico in September. The orders breakdown of the nation's more than 3,000 counties was notable for revealing clusters of sightings in remote regions, places where UFOs are almost never mentioned. But every county in the United States appear to have seen at least one UFO. In the end, the Coasters noticed the spikes may have a lot to do with the media coverage. Alright folks, so again, exclusive broadcast, podcast, content. So if you want to support content creation just like this, exclusively click on our Patreon site right now, Podbum Community, and thank you for being a passionate contributor. We're going to continue. 157. California, the most popular state, led the nation in UFO reports with 15,836, more than the next two states, Florida, Texas combined. Los Angeles County alone had more sightings than 40 states, followed by Maricopa County, Arizona, which includes Phoenix. Population fails to explain these figures conclusively, the Coasters said. Washington State, with 6.7 million people according to a 2010 census, ranks number 4 in sightings, ahead of Pennsylvania with 12.7 million people and New York State with 19 million. Rather, the cosicists theorize the figures may reflect good West Coast weather, which draws more people outside when they may spot UFOs. Nationwide speaking, in July they found and dropped off between December and February. Still, Mississippi, UFO report spikes in January and November, in New Mexico in September. The audience breakdown of the nation's more than 3,000 counties was notable for revealing clusters of sightings in remote regions, places where UFOs are almost never mentioned. But every county in the United States appear to have seen at least one UFO. In the end, the cosicists noticed the spikes may have a lot to do with the media coverage, or lack thereof. So right now, this is a hot subject. Breaking: the New York Times UFO bombshell. People are seeing UFOs everywhere. And like the article states, this book proves why. It proves it. So yeah, back to our MoveFund analytics. It's a book you gotta check out if you're interested in these subjects. So till next time, we're gonna just go ahead and let you know to soften over to our Podbomb community page, our Patreon page, to support our podcast. And also, we have a link there to Apple Podcasts where you can download and subscribe to the WittyCast podcast, where you can hear this exclusive breaking news in its entirety. Again, thanks to the New York Times for writing such a phenomenal article, and to the publishers of the book. Alright, so we're going to see you guys next time. Again, once the weather's getting better, like the book says, go out there and see what you can see in the skies. You may actually see something that you'll be surprised that you saw. Maybe something like this. Talk to you.